Boom. 2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Alright guys, welcome to Mr. G's Room. It's been a couple of weeks since I've posted, but I've had this kind of idea in the back of my mind that I've been wanting to communicate to all of you. And largely it has to do with participation in sports, okay? I played sports from elementary school all the way through college, alright? I really, really love my sports. Obviously, I got my degree in physical education, followed up with my master's in health sciences. I love being active, alright? I've been a coach. I coached while I was in college. I coached while I was in the military. I'm definitely coaching now that I'm a teacher, and because I just think that it's such a great way for individuals to express themselves in a different way, right? We're not all going to be artists. We're not all going to be writers, although those are things I think those are great hobbies to have, and I definitely encourage all athletes to do those things. Also, I do think that sports is another way for a person to show their creative side. If you don't believe me, just watch a couple of, go back and watch some of the World Cup and tell me that those individuals aren't super creative. The way they can analyze a situation and apply their skills is like mind-blowing, okay? So first and foremost, I got to give a plug and just say, look, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're great at it, if you're bad at it. Get out there, try a sport. Hopefully, it keeps you active, something you can do for your entire life. Okay, now, the real reason why I wanted to make this video is that I recently read a set of data published by the NCAA. All right, they do this each year. They find out how many high school athletes participated in a sport. Then they find out how many NCAA athletes are in that sport the following year. So if we know that, what are we able to tell? Yeah, that's right. You're able to tell the percentage of students that advance from this high school level to the next step at the NCAA level, which I find super interesting, right? Now there is going to be some outliers. When I mean outliers, when you look at like a bell curve on who goes where, there's going to be that like fraction of a percentage that goes directly from high school to being a professional athlete. These are rare, but most commonly I would say the Major League Baseball is the prime example of this happening. Okay, Major League Baseball has several levels of like professional teams, and it's not uncommon for individuals to go from high school to being a professional athlete. They're not making millions, but they're definitely playing and getting paid to play, which makes them a professional athlete. Anyway, the whole reason why I want to talk about this is because not only is it important for us to be realistic about the likelihood of making it from high school to college, what I've seen a couple of times is that the perception that an individual is going to make it into the NCAA can really have an adverse impact. First of all, on their ability to even enjoy the sport. Secondly, it has a negative impact on the team dynamic. If an individual is only concerned about themselves making it to the NCAA, quite frankly, it makes it hard to play as a team. And this is specific to team sports. Yeah, I get it. Like, for me, I was a wrestler. But even then, I'm practicing with other guys, right, and girls. I'm practicing with other people. And if there was one person only focused on them making it to the NCAA, it probably would have made practices a lot more miserable. Probably would have made us, because we needed the support of one another. Anyway, just going through here, like I'd like you to just think like, oh, how many high school seniors end up going to play going to play basketball, like the freshman year of college? All right, how many high school seniors go and they're playing football their freshman year of college? Because it is strikingly a small, teeny tiny percentage. Okay. First, I want to start off with some really great news, especially if you are a female ice hockey player. If you're a female ice hockey player, believe it or not, you're going to be pulling in at right about 25% of you and your teammates are going to make it onto the next level. 25% of all female ice hockey players progress to play some form of ice hockey at the collegiate level, and we're not talking. We're not talking like intramurals. We're talking about like you're representing your school versus other schools in division, whether it be Division 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. All right, so if you're out there and you're a female ice hockey player, best of luck. Keep on practicing super hard. Listen to your coaches, and I wish you the best of luck because it seems like you have the highest likelihood. Okay, gentlemen, if you play hockey, you still have a pretty good chance, right? You're coming in at just under 12%, 11.9% of men's high school hockey players will go on to play some form of NCAA hockey. Okay. Now, the absolute lowest, right? It pains me to say this, especially because of all the fine young gentlemen and ladies that I've coached in this sport. If you're a wrestler, 2.9% of you are going to make it on to wrestle in the NCAA. All right, rosters are really small. There isn't a whole lot of there aren't just tons and tons of wrestling programs all over the NCAA. I mean, there are, but frankly, you just need enough guys and girls to fill out the teams, to fill out your rosters. You don't need 2 or 3 individuals in each weight class. So just to keep that in mind, right? Out of the 244,000 high school wrestlers, right? There's about 7,000 in the NCAA. Okay, so there just aren't. You have an abundance of athletes, but you have very few positions to fill. So you got to think of it that way. Okay. The next one I want to talk about is those of you that are all going to go pro in football and basketball, because wowee, I really wish I could convince you to join other sports if that's your goal. All right, and in high school football, right, you have over 1 million high school football players here in the United States. Over 1 million high school football players, right? You're coming at just under 1.1 million individuals. How many are in the NCAA? Well, only 73,000, which means about 6% of you are going to make it from high school into the NCAA. I'm not saying it's not possible. What I'm saying is, make sure you're a team player, all right? Make sure you're listening to your coaches. Make sure that you are doing those morning practices and afternoon practices. And also, just to hedge your bets, make sure you're still being a good student, because you may not make it as a football player, which is perfectly fine. That doesn't mean you can't have a life that's involved with athletics. You can go out there and you can play rec league. You can go out there and play semi-pro. That's all. That's fine. I encourage you to do those things. I'm just saying, don't put all your eggs in the I'm going to be an NCAA football athlete and then I'm going to go to the NFL basket. That's not very likely. And then finally, and this is the number I found that was really small. Okay, so about 550,000 people or men play basketball at the high school level, right? 550,000 participants in boys basketball in high school, right? So moving over to the NCAA, I thought that I honestly thought it would be a higher number than this. Okay, there's only 18,000 NCAA participants for men's basketball, and that's the reason why I thought there would be more than that is because Hoopty Doopty Community College has a basketball team, right? Like Basket Weaving Indiana University has a basketball team. So I thought there would be more participants. You're looking at 3.5% of you will make it from high school to the NCAA level. And you got to think about that. If there's 18,000 participants at the NCAA level, besides I don't know, Manu Ginobili and Isaiah Thomas, name a second-round pick that's made an impact in the NBA. And I mean like a huge impact in the NBA in the past decade. So you're talking of those 18,000, 30 of you will make it to the NBA and persist and stay out of the G League for a significant amount of time. Significant amount of time being 3 to 4 years. So I know that that's kind of like it's kind of like a stats intensive little thing. I'm gonna put a link in the bottom because this is a super interesting article. I recommend coaches go through this and look through and kind of find out start thinking and maybe how you might want to present this type of information to your athletes. Because for me, I use it as a tool to emphasize the intangibles, right? Anybody if you're just focused on I'm just going to do NCAA and forget my team, and you really may actually miss an opportunity to do this sport longer for a longer period of time, beyond high school. So again, I use this as a way to say, look, realistically, you may not make it. You do have to be special, but that doesn't mean that you can't have fun. That doesn't mean you can't learn. That doesn't mean you can't be competitive. That doesn't you can still do all these really great and wonderful things as a high school athlete, as a middle school athlete, as an elementary school athlete. You can do all these great and wonderful things. But just make sure you do them for you. Don't do them for the NCAA. They've got enough people trying to do that already. Do it for you. Do it because you love it, and make sure be a good teammate. Listen to your coaches and all that great, wonderful stuff. All right. Sorry, I kind of rambled on a bit today, guys, but it's just super important to me that you get out there and you look at this information, because I think that we need to be synced up with what is with reality. And I think once we do that, we can make I don't know, just being informed makes us a little bit happier. And yeah, that's all I really got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your summer. Have a great day.